What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's the Downright Upright. Check it out. As I posted in my last video, I'm new to sim racing. So now that it's been about, or almost a month, it's been a month that I started getting into this hobby. I've really decided, like, hey, after all the videos and everything that I've seen, there's a lot of information that people have been omitting, right? So I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. What you actually need to know before getting into sim racing. Let's go, right? So as you can see in the thumbnail, I have the Moza R3. I have the Logitech 9 G923. Been using them for a month. And here are just some things. If you're thinking of getting into sim racing, these are things that you have to understand, okay? So I'm just gonna do a quick little side note on consoles. The G923, I bought the Xbox and PC version. If you plug this thing into your Xbox, of course it's gonna run great. Bing bang boom, you're up and running, no problem, okay? Consoles are generally not the problem. PC is where you're gonna have issues, not necessarily with the G23, but it's where you're gonna, PC is where I find you can say, okay, I'm starting to get into sim racing, okay? Because on PC, the library of games, you can mix and match wheels and pedals and all that stuff. And this is where, in my opinion, you're really getting into it, okay? So let's take the Logitech G923. If it wasn't for this wheel, okay, I would have probably hated sim racing if I bought the Moza R3 first. So let me explain. So when I bought my Logitech wheel, every car game was on sale, man. It felt like, oh, the world was talking to me like, yes, this is your destiny. Buy all those games. I bought a whole bunch of games, all of the WRCs, like 9, 10 generations. I bought Grid Legends, Assetto Corsa, Competizione, just regular Assetto Corsa, Dirt Rally 2.0. Like, I just bought like every freaking car game because I was like, I am going balls deep into this. Let's go. So I get everything. I'm using my Logitech wheel. It's fantastic. You plug this wheel in, that's it. Everything is working. There's no configuration to do. You are up and running, lickety split. Everything works great, okay? Now, of course, having compared both the Moza M3 wheels and the Logitech wheels, we're going to get into those differences, right? There's definitely a huge difference between the two. Now, here's the real key thing here, okay? When it comes to compatibility, Logitech beats the Moza wheel hands down. You plug it in, you play, you have a great time. That's the end of that. You see me up there, I'm just driving, shifting, playing dirt, having a yay old time. And it's fantastic, okay? Now, what no one told me is that if you get any other wheel, if you pick up the Moza wheel, right? Because I haven't tested other wheels, you're in for a whole world of pain, my friend. The Moza wheel is not a plug and play wheel. I think maybe 2 out of all of the games that I have recognizes the wheel and just automatically configures the buttons for you, okay? If not, man, I had to go through my Steam settings, adjusting controller settings. Then you have to go into each game, each individual game, and configure each button, assign each individual button and set it up. It is a pain in the ass. Now, I'm not talking about the Moza wheel that's Xbox compatible because that's irrelevant here. I'm really talking on the PC side of things, okay? Why doesn't anyone talk about this? Everyone reviews the wheel and no one's out there like, hey man, you're not just gonna buy this wheel and boom, you're up and running. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's taken me a couple weeks to get all of my settings dialed in, getting it to save my settings properly. I've unplugged the wheel. Sometimes it erased the configuration I did. I had to go back in and reassign all the buttons. Another perfect example is like on Dirt Generations. It sees the Moza wheel, but when you're driving, there's no force feedback. You have to turn off the wheel, turn it back on, then it picks up the force feedback. I mean, all types of nitpicky garbage that like you have to be aware of. So what I can say to you is, if you want to just get a wheel and not think about configuring software, and you don't want to think, you just want to race, right? You don't want to think, buy the Logitech wheel. Stay away from the Moza wheel. Look, I haven't tried other wheels, so I can't tell you. I'm just telling you, like on my thumbnail, based off of the equipment you see that I own. And I own both of these wheels. And I can tell you, the Moza experience, I call it Moza if it's Moza, whatever the hell it is. The Moza experience has been a nightmare. And the Logitech experience has been A+. That is just the truth. That is the truth. It's my truth based off of all the time and everything that I've been doing with it now over the past month. Okay. So this is something that you really need to take into consideration before you get into sim racing. Okay. So of course, you know, I'm not really going to get into like what monitors you need. That you could play on the smallest monitor. It doesn't matter. Monitor, TV, yada, yada. You know, that's irrelevant. It's really just when it comes to setting these things up, know that there's going to be a learning curve if you're going outside of the Logitech wheel. The Logitech wheels have been around forever. They're super compatible, easy breezy. Okay. Now, other things I wish I knew before I got into sim racing. The pedals, your pedal and feet position are so important. Because if you want to have back pain, yep, you can just put your pedal on the ground. You can put your pedal on the ground and just put a little box up behind it and lean it up against the wall. Look, if that's what your setup is, if that's what you've got to do when you get started, do it. Right? There's no problem there. However, as you can see, I have a stand that I'm using, and whatever wheel you're using, if you are not in a stand where the wheel is mounted and the pedals are bolted, you are getting like 50% of your wheel. You're losing 50% of the experience. You really are. Because when it's bolted down and you can actually hit the brake, and then your back can be pushed up on your chair and your chair is locked into the little slant on the front of your base so it's not moving, and you've just got that perfect pressure to pressure, it is fantastic. It really changes how the game plays. So I'm not telling you, hey, don't get into sim racing if you don't have a stand. That's all I'm saying. But know that if what you can afford, if where you can start is a basic wheel, pedals on the ground, that's fine. But just know, in my personal opinion, if you want to get a wheel and you want to get into this, start with the Logitech wheel first, because it is plug and play. It's the game see it as a controller. It just works. Okay? Now, that aside, let's get into, is the Moza R3 wheel better than the Logitech wheel? Yes it is. Now, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned if I didn't get the Logitech wheel, why I would probably hate sim racing, and I'm glad I didn't buy the Moza 3 wheel first, is because of how easy it was to set up the Logitech. If I would have came in and bought the Moza wheel first, I would have hated sim racing. I would have thought, oh my god, this is the type of setup that you have to do for every single game. These people on the internet are nuts. No one talks about it. They all just make it look like it's fun when they're all playing. No one talks about the configuration and the pain in the ass that it is. I would have returned my wheel and never gotten into sim racing. So thank you, Logitech, for keeping it simple and just letting me get in there and plug and play. So as I've been using my G923, right? So what we're coming down to here, okay, is the Moza wheel, in my opinion, is a much more sim raced basing wheel. This is a racing peripheral. I mean, you can change out all the wheels, You can get all the F1 stuff. I mean, this is really a fantastically well-made wheel with the 3.9 Newton meters of torque. It's fantastic. It really is. It's the same price. I paid it $100 cheaper than my Logitech wheel, but the belt-driven gear in there, or well, it's not a gear, just the belt-driven system, it's fantastic. It's smoother. You have a lot more resistance. You get a lot more details through the wheel. You know, when I first got my G923, and everyone was saying this is a beginner wheel, and I was like, what do you mean beginner wheel? This thing is fantastic. And of course, comparison is the killer of all happiness, because now that I've been able to compare the two, I really love the Mazda wheel more. So what I'm actually going to be doing for now is I'm going to be putting my Mazda wheel onto my stand, and I'm going to be using it as a principal wheel for now until I decide to buy another stand and put my Logitech wheel on. And that's pretty much it. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick little rundown, you know, on what I think were some pretty important points when it comes to this, because these are things you got to know. Sim racing is expensive. Like I said, I started a month ago, and I'm already well over $1,000 in, you know, gear and buying games, and you know, I bought a drill to, like, you know, put my stand together, and the drill's been coming in handy actually. But you know, like, just little things that, like, you don't use on a daily basis, that now you're getting into sim racing, you're like, oh, I might want this. You just start needing stuff all of a sudden. It's a really weird situation once you get into it. But I hope this video helped you. I hope it can align you a little bit in, you know, just what you're gonna buy. I hope it can help you make, you know, the right decision for you. No one told me, and now, you know, I can't really return my Logitech wheel because it's like been over a month. So I have both wheels. Yay, I guess I'm lucky that way. But so, and don't like get out there and just start spending, you know. Hopefully my video is gonna just, you know, be able to line you up a little bit in what direction you want to go into. So yo, put it down in the comment section if you guys have any questions, anything I can answer or help you out with on your sim racing journey. So thanks so much for stopping by to check out the channel. It's the Don Right Upright. I'm out.